महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा।
Good morning, children. Welcome back to Geo class. In previous class, I explained about the Central Islands and Deccan Plateau as a peninsula plateaus. Do you remember? Yes. Even I introduced the word Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Yes. With the proceeding with the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats in the physical feature of India, let us learn something more about this Ghat section in India. Where does the Deccan Plateau lies, children? It lies in the southern part of India in the triangle shape. Yes? Very good. You remember. And the edges of the Deccan Plateau, is called Ghats. Understood, children? The edge which is present to the west side is called as Western Ghats. The Ghat which is present in the edge of the Deccan Plateau in the east side is called as the Eastern Ghats. Let us understand first about the Western Ghats, then we will learn about the Eastern Ghats. Okay, children? The Western Ghats are edges present to the west side of Deccan Plateau, and it is a continuous Ghat section. It is very continuous Ghat section, children. Ghat means which is elevated. I said that Deccan Plateau is elevated and made up of a tableland. That is called as a plateau. Then the edge will be, definitely it will be elevated. Yes. That elevated area is called as a Ghat. And this continuous Ghats is proceeding from north to south, from Gujarat to the Kerala. Okay, and these are in the northern side, these mountain peaks, the Ghats are little height or less. When it continues to the southwards, the height is higher. Okay, and because of this, means from north it is increasing towards the south side. And in south we find Annai Malai or Annai Mudi, which is 2695 meters in height. Here the mountain ranges are 900 to 1600 meters height. It average height is 900 to 6600 meters. Understood, children? And because of this are continuous and parallel to the Deccan Plateau and the Arabian Sea, we find in this area coastal plain. The edge which merges to the Arabian Sea and meets to the Deccan Plateau in the west side, that is Ghat, that area is called as a coastal plain. And this coastal plain are narrow. And because of this narrowness, we don't find any river and any basin in this area, delta or basin. Only river Narmada and Tapti, they merges to the Arabian Sea. They do not make any delta or tributaries. They merges directly because of the height. In the previous class I said it in western side it is broader. Yes, and height is also more and it is broader in this side. The river flows to the east side. Because of that, the Narmada and Tapti river, they without making a delta, they merges to the Arabian Sea. The river which emerges in the Western Ghats, they move to the eastern side, and here in the eastern side they create a delta and distributaries. Okay, children, let us learn about the Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats are these discontinued mountain ranges. Why they are discontinued? Because the river breaks. The river breaks the Mount Ghat sections and makes delta and distributor in the coastal plain. So only it is not continuous. It is discontinued and irregular Ghat section. We can find in the southwards little big and northwards still more bigger. Here in the eastern side, the southward they are height are small and in northward the height is more. Here we can find Mahendragiri, which is 1501 meter in height. Here the average height of the Ghat is 600 meters. Understood, children? It is 600 meters. Now let us understand the difference by reading both the features. In the Western Ghats, edge of the Western Ghats lies in the Deccan Plateau. In Eastern Ghats, the edge of the Ghat lies in the Deccan Plateau in the eastern side. In Western Ghats, it is a continuous mountain landmass. In Eastern Ghat, it is irregular and discontinuous landmass. And we can find in the Western Ghat passes only through the natural passes like Pol Ghat and Bora Ghat, Thora Ghat, only we can pass. Why, children? Because it is narrow and broad, we can't make a road here, and we have to walk or travel only in the natural passes. Understood, children? And because of narrowness and here hollowness, we have dense forest in the Western Ghats, and in Eastern Ghats we don't find any forest. There are agricultural land because of the water supply and delta region. And in the Eastern Ghats we find the rice and sugarcane growing. In the Western Ghats we find a dense forest and it is a place of wildlife. Understood, children? Now it is parallel to the Western Ghats are parallel to the coastal area, that to western coastal area, and Eastern Ghats are parallel to the eastern coastal area. Here height rises from north to south, but in Eastern Ghats the height of the mountain rises from south to north. Understood, children? Average height of the Western Ghats are 900 to 1600 meters. In Eastern Ghats it is only average height is 600 meters. The highest peak in the Western Ghats is Annai Mudi, which is 2695 meters. Even Dodda Betta is also 2635 meter. And in Eastern Ghats it is Mahendragiri, which has 1501 meters above the sea level. Understood, children? You understood about the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. Even you understood about the difference between the Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats. There will be a question related to the differences or individual. You should be very thorough about it. Okay, children?
See you in the next class. Thank you.